Hi and welcome to the Bandwidth Tapes. I'm Brad Williams. On this episode, I'm having a conversation with a musician that I will admit I'm a little bit obsessed with these days. The incredible John Mailander. My best pal Mark Mundy turned me on to John's music because John had just played on Matt Mundy's solo album, and I had listened to some tunes that were in the process of being produced, and I just couldn't believe how well John was playing on them. He's an incredible talent, and I immediately started listening to everything I could of his, to then discover that he's also a member of Bruce Hornsby's Noisemakers. And in the episode, we talk about how that opportunity came to him and what it was like to join that incredible band and what it's like night to night playing with them. We also spent some time talking about John's collective of musicians called John Mailander's Forecast. I have some music throughout the episode of John's latest album, and I encourage you to go and listen to the entire thing. It is so good. And John is just one of the kindest and nicest people I've had the opportunity to speak with on the podcast. He just oozes talent and passion for what he does, and I just think he is doing incredible things, and I just wish him all the best. Before we jump into the episode, I'd just like to thank everyone for continuing to listen, for subscribing, for reaching out with comments and questions about the podcast. We're ending 2025 and starting 2026 soon with lots and lots of great episodes coming up, and continuing to schedule interviews with amazing musicians, and I know you're going to love to hear what they all have to say in the new year. On that note, let's jump into this episode with the amazing John Mailander. John, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. How are you today?
I'm great, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here with you.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this. I'm such a fan of your playing, and I've been taking a deep dive in your recorded catalog, and I just can't wait to talk about it and just, gush over how much of a fan I am about how well you play. So, yeah. As we were just kind of catching up before we started recording, my connection to you, I'd heard you playing for a long time without knowing your name, but my connection to you is that you played on a project of a friend of mine, Matt Mundy, recently, and just knocked out by what you played on it, and you sound so good. And I was curious how you and Matt connected with each other.
We actually... Well, he's been a hero to me for a very long time, since, probably the last 15 years or so.
Yeah.
Since I first heard about him, and through being a fan of the Aquarium Rescue Unit and
Sure.
Bruce Hampton world. And so I've been listening to Matt for a long time, and we met recently at a gig I played in Atlanta with Sam Grisman, my
Oh
friend
yeah.
Sam Grisman,
Oh yeah.
and Matt came to the gig, and we'd kind of become Facebook friends over the past few years too, and we met, and he's just the kindest person, and we've had a lot of mutual friends over the years, but our paths just crossed probably about a year ago for the first time. So when he reached out to me to track on his record, and it just felt like a full circle moment, and
Yeah.
I still can't believe he reached out to me. He's one of the huge musical influences in my life. So
Yeah.
I'm very honored to be a part of his record.
Yeah. I first heard his name. I saw his name. I think I saw him on the first Tales from the Acoustic Planet Bela Fleck album before I knew all about Aquarium Rescue Unit, even living in Atlanta at the time, and then got into that whole world of Bruce Hampton and listening to him with that. And it's like he was like from another universe musically, just what he was bringing tonally to that band. And holy cow,
Yeah. I haven't heard anyone play mandolin like that before.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so I met his brother Mark and went to audition and play in a band that he was in. And when I went, Matt was actually there, and I wasn't nervous about playing with these guys. They were super guys and easy hang. I was more nervous about playing around Matt because I was like, holy cow, this guy's what a monster player. But as you said, he is one of the sweetest people on the planet. He's just such a sweet guy. And yeah, I'm just so knocked out with what you played on his record. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah, it's really good. So what part of the world are you from? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in San Diego.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then I went to college in Boston, and I moved from there to Nashville about 11 years ago.
Okay.
And I've been in Madison, Tennessee since then.
Enjoying all the Nashville traffic, and as we were talking about Atlanta traffic, Nashville is like it's a pretty close second. I think it's kind of nuts.
It's gotten worse every year for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I like it here.
The
music community is great, and just lots of really wonderful friends here, and it's easy to stay inspired here. There's always, any night of the week, there's great live music to check out,
and it's amazing how many musicians there are in that town, but how much of a small, close-knit community it feels. It's like everyone knows everyone supports each other, and it is an amazing community of musicians.
Yeah, it really is. I've felt that. People have asked, like, isn't it competitive, or have this idea that it's a competitive place, but I've only found it to be really community focused, and everyone helps each other out, and there's a great group of musicians here. Yeah.
Was your plan all along after college to move to Nashville, or was there a gig that led you there?
No, I just tried it out. I kind of I moved here for my girlfriend in college at the time, basically.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to move to Nashville, but it's like I'll give it a year and see how things go. And it took a while for me to feel like really comfortable here. But once I found my people here, and found the weirdo musicians here, and like all the cool like stuff happening, behind the scenes, not the music business stuff, but like the weird, like the free improv shows and like underground music happening here.
Yeah.
And just having some really close friends from college also, who also ended up living here.
Yeah.
Just kind of moving here already with that community in place a little bit, really helped. And so I just haven't left.
Yeah.
So
I think what people that aren't familiar with Nashville, they just kind of assume that, it's the place where country music is, and that's where country music is made. And that's true, but there's such a huge scene of everything else there. And you can go and hear the best of any kind of music that you're into just about any night of the week in Nashville if you go and look for it. So I know what you mean about finding a community of maybe people that are on the outskirts of maybe what the rest of the world knows about that city.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like that scene has been really blossoming lately in the past few years.
Yeah.
There's a lot more, or maybe I'm just diving deeper into it, but there's a lot of like weirdo music. There's like ambient nights and lots of free improvised, free jazz, and just exploring creativity and different combinations of like great musicians from different bands who are off the road who will get together and just make shit up for a night.
Yeah, it's great.
But I don't know anywhere else you can hear music like that on a regular basis. So
well, and I think so many people from around different scenes around the U.S., the Northwest, maybe Chicago, New York, that have kind of made their way to Nashville, have brought a lot. I keep hearing a lot about, kind of bringing that different element to that city. And yeah, I'm encouraged to hear that there's a lot of experimentation going on, people trying different things and different kinds of music being made there than maybe what was happening, especially when I was living there in the 90s. There was a lot of great music, but it was primarily a country music town. And I think that it has expanded a lot in those 30 years since I've been there. Yeah. Yeah. As we're recording this, I think you're on maybe a well-deserved weekend off after being on the road for a while. And then it looks like you're going back out on the road soon with Bruce Hornsby. And then I think you're doing some other stuff and then your own group. What has your schedule been like in the past few months?
I've actually been here in Nashville quite a lot the past few months. I was just out last week with Sam Grisman again. I've been playing with him some this year, and that's been a blast. And Peter Rowan was on that run too, who's another hero. And I just don't take time with him for granted. Yeah, just being around a hero like him. So we were just out on the West Coast last week, and I'm home this week and getting ready for a few weeks straight on the road coming up, which I'm really psyched about. It's our one tour of the year with Bruce. It's kind of a light year of shows with him, but it's always so special when we're out together. That band is wonderful, and it's really like family, like seeing everyone, even in the band and crew, just getting to spend a couple weeks with them is going to be really special. Yeah. And then I'm going from that to a couple shows with my own group after that. And I've kind of been bouncing around from one thing to the next this year. But I've been home a lot and digging into recording more and producing a few records this year. So
that's great.
My time at home has been feeling creative too.
That's great. Do you record out of your place? Do you have a studio at your house, or do you go somewhere else?
I've been working with a couple different friends who are great engineers here in town, and working from their studios. And it's been a really fun kind of new thing I'm exploring right now. So.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk with you about the Bruce Hornsby gig. I saw you guys. Actually, Mark Mundy and I saw you guys. We went up to the Bristol Roots Festival a couple years ago.
Oh,
and you
cool.
guys played up there. It was a weird night. I don't know.
It was. The festival sets are always, there's so much stuff, like so much gear and stuff that can go wrong. And when it's like a throw and go, that it can be kind of stressful.
It just, and of course, I mean, you guys always bring it. Don't get me wrong, but it just felt, I could tell, and I've done so many festival shows over the years. It feels like by the time you really feel settled in is about when you're on your second to last song, and it's like,
Totally.
so time to end the set. So yeah, but you guys, it was amazing as always. I have a friend that I played with for a long time in Atlanta, and I think his best friend is John Thomas.
Oh,
So
cool.
yeah, guitar player. You know what? He may live in Nashville. His name is Joe Davies. I don't know if
Oh,
you've
I know Joe Davies. Yeah.
Yeah, I played in a band with Joe for a long time.
No way. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whenever JT comes through Nashville, we all get together.
Yeah.
I've sat in with Joe's group here a couple times. And
Joe's
he's amazing guitar player.
He's an amazing guitar player, and he just he has his own thing. He just has his own identity, and I just love what he plays and how he plays it. And,
me too. Yeah, he's probably one of the most creative users of a whammy bar I've ever heard.
I agree. He and I did a gig in Atlanta for, gosh, I don't know, a couple of years. It was a classic country karaoke with a live band kind of thing, and really fun band. We all played, and one night, it was a night before Bruce was in town, and JT came and played the gig with us that night.
Cool.
And it was a lot of fun. But we talked. He really kind of peeled back the curtain a little bit about what it's like on that gig, and it just seems like there's just so much freedom in that band. Just not knowing the set, like no set list. You just kind of know what he said. We may play a tune in a different key. You just never know what's going to happen on any given night. How has that gig been for you?
It's been life-changing. And
let me back up and ask, how did it happen? How did that gig come your way, if you don't mind me asking that first?
Well, Ross Holmes, who played fiddle in the band before me, I met him early on when I moved to Nashville, and through one of my best friends here, my friend Royal Massat, who plays bass for Billy Strings now.
Yeah.
We met right when I moved to town, and we've been so close ever since. And Ross is Royal's brother-in-law, so I kind of met Ross through Royal. And so when Ross was leaving the band, he recommended me for the gig, and it all happened in like 24 hours. Like, Ross texted me, and he's like, "Hey, you might be getting a call today from someone for a gig," and I didn't know who it was even, and then Bruce called me personally that afternoon, and which meant the world too. Like, a lot of times I'm learning, like, the longer I'm here and get asked for other gigs and stuff, it's so often like coming from a manager or someone who maybe doesn't have your best interest in mind even, or really care about the music. And that seems kind of standard these days. But Bruce called personally, and we talked for like 30 minutes. And
wow.
There was no audition or anything. It was all just trust. And I think the first rehearsal was like the sound check before the first show.
That's awesome.
And, the first couple years it's still very challenging, but in a way that I've always embraced it, and I love the challenge. But the first 2 years especially were very difficult at times. Just there'd be like at least a couple songs every night that I'd never heard before that would show up in the show. Very rarely done a cover. Even like, we don't do Dead covers at all. It's mostly all songs from his catalog, which is, I've learned, like, I've always been a fan, and I'd seen the band a couple times. I always thought it would be like a dream band to play with. But I didn't even fully know the breadth of his actual catalog. It's a whole world of music. At least like 150 great original songs. Which none of them are songs you can really fake either. Like, they all have pretty intricate parts and like just curveballs. He's so creative as a writer.
Creative, yeah.
And you know, even with improvisation and when we're in a jam, like he's so aware of like not ever letting it get into a stagnant place. There always has to be, it can't be comfortable for too long. He's really good about throwing curveballs and keeping it interesting for us. He's like that as a writer too. So those first couple years were very challenging. Just with, you know, I did a lot of homework, and he sent me the top 80 songs he would most likely call in a show. And I really studied
just
them.
The top 80, right?
But it's like one thing working on it at home and another thing in that moment, when it's live. So,
yeah.
But it's been a beautiful, I really feel like I've grown as a musician.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that, what, like, if you could quantify what you've learned as a player or as a group member, as a collaborator through that time. I mean, just I would imagine also as a band leader of your own project, just to the amount of trust that he puts in the people around him is pretty significant. The fact that he just kind of knows that you're gonna be okay with each other no matter what he throws at you during a show.
Yeah, and we can always make it back. It's all about like living way, way on the edge where it could fall apart at any time, but that's where the magic, like memorable moments of the night come
Absolutely.
from. And just trusting each other that no matter how far it goes, we'll find a way back together.
Yeah. There's a great video. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know when it was recorded. This video of him playing, and it's a pretty close shot. Someone filmed from the audience, and it's him, and there's Christian McBride next to him, and and like the camera pans across, and then there's Kenny Garrett, and then it's the band, and then I see you and John Scofield standing next to you, and I'm like, John, how does it feel to be on the stage with all of those people?
I'll never forget that night. I mean, that was a
wow.
It's hard to know how to. I get emotional talking about it.
Sure, I would too. Yeah.
And Bruce, like, I used to stand where JV stands on stage, like right behind Bruce, where his bassist stands now. And he was so kind before that tour. That was one of the first shows of that year too. And I was talking with Bruce on the phone, and he like knows I'm a huge Scofield fan and have been for a long time. And so Bruce was like, hey, I know you love John Scofield. Like, why don't we change the stage plot so you can stand next to him for the show? You know, it's like I couldn't say no, but it was like, oh my God, I don't know how to take that. It was, you know, just such a loving thing of Bruce to do for me.
Seriously.
And he was like passing us both solos together all night. Bruce is into, one thing I've really taken from the gig is it's not about your solo. Like, it's often like interacting with at least one other person, which is way more fun and way more interesting to listen to too. And it's different voices like weaving around each other instead of just one voice out in front in the spotlight. So he was doing that with me and Scofield the whole night, which was like crazy.
Did it feel like an out-of-body experience at times? Just I can't believe that this is my life right now.
And I still can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
And we've kept the stage plot has stayed the same since then, because we realized it just sonically worked better too. And it's good for JV on bass to see Bruce's hands.
That's a good point. Yeah, normally I would imagine, I'm a bass player, and I normally, like to be over by the hi-hat, but in a gig like that where there are so many curveballs, being able to see his left hand would probably be a huge benefit.
Yeah, and I was spoiled the first few years watching him play, watching his hands is so inspiring. But also not, still getting familiar with the whole catalog. You can get hints kind of early on before the rest of the band of what song he might be going into next. Because just seeing like his chord voicings or what he's warming up with, you can make some connections of what song it might be coming up. So,
yeah, it's, I'm just blown away with everything I hear you guys do. I've recently listened to are you on the live recordings from the Spirit Trail anniversary release? Yeah, man, you sound so good on that. I love what you brought to those songs and just this kind of new energy to them. It just, you sound so good on those. So bravo to that. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to ask you, you were talking about Boston. I think you went to Berklee. Is that right?
Yeah. 2009 to 13.
Okay. I had Carolyn Kendrick on the podcast.
I love her.
Yeah. And I think she was there as well. And she did I think she did the American Roots Music Program. Is that what?
Yeah.
Did you do that as well? Were you in that program?
Yeah, that's what initially drew me to the school. I was really into bluegrass and old time and like traditional fiddle music, and that Berklee is one of the only colleges that offers a program focused on that. So it's kind of it's not like a formal program, but they bring in great art. Bela Fleck came in a few times. Bruce Molsky, Darol Anger was teaching there.
Wow.
My mentor and hero. And so they had a lot of like fiddle music focused instruction there.
Yeah.
I met a lot of my current friends and people who I work with a lot. I all met through that kind of roots music community.
Yeah. Is that where you met
Boston?
Did you meet Molly there as well? Was she there when you were? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a great crew of acoustic musicians when I was there.
Yeah.
Really wonderful time.
I'm a big string quartet listener. I love, and when you bring up Darol Anger, I think about, I like Turtle Island String Quartet. I'm a big fan of Kronos as well. And just both of those ensembles specifically, not kind of blurring the lines between the type of music you normally would hear a string quartet play. And I wonder if that's, of course his playing, but there seemed to be no boundaries to what kind of music he would play. Was that kind of the energy and that made you fall in love with him as a player?
I think so. And just hearing that level of freedom on the instrument or being able to take a fiddle tune, any Whiskey Before Breakfast or some standard fiddle tune, and like have no boundaries on where that can go.
Yeah.
And just like playing just for the joy of the music and like letting the music lead your decisions and not feeling like you have to be so in the box, or it's hard to explain, but Darol's playing has always like really moved me. In a really deep way, just his phrasing and the humanity in his playing, and that you immediately know it's him like two notes in. So working with him in Boston was really wonderful and formative time. And
yeah, absolutely.
He lives here in Nashville now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Great. So I get to see him still really often, which is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. as you're talking about that program at Berklee, I'm so surprised that other music schools around the U.S. haven't caught on to the fact that that's a good. It could be a big thing for for music schools, and that
Mm-hmm.
you typically wouldn't think of Boston to be the place where that's going on,
Mm-hmm.
but of course Berklee, it makes sense. But I'm amazed that even places in Nashville or Texas or somewhere aren't
Mm-hmm.
trying to cultivate that next generation of roots players like Berklee's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. I'm not sure why that is. I know like East Tennessee State University has a bluegrass program. But Berklee was so cool because it was so about blurring the genre lines and, studying the history, but also, like when I was there, the band Crooked Still was around in Boston. They're kind of, to me, so just the perfect band to describe kind of what was going on at that
Yeah.
time, taking this traditional music to a whole new place. And there's just a really great scene for that. And I went there for the roots music, but then immediately, like, I think the funk band Lettuce was
Oh man,
band I saw
yes.
live when I moved there, and they played like at the side venue on campus. And so I was immediately like hearing all this other stuff. And so I went there for the roots music, but then by the end of it, I was like, I want to learn jazz fusion and, South Indian classical music and
Yeah.
all this other stuff that I had never really been exposed to before, became my main interest.
Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of going and studying music. Of course you go and you take lessons and you play in ensembles, and that there is a huge benefit of that. But I also think that the time that you're collaborating with other people or kind of absorbing all this other music around you, and letting it kind of trickle in and create your identity as a musician, that's just
Mm-hmm.
as important as what you may learn in the classroom or in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to talk about your ensemble, your group, Forecast,
Mm-hmm.
which I'll tell you, John, I can't. I've been listening to the albums, and I just cannot get enough of them. I just absolutely love them.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, they're so good. From the writing to the playing to the way that they're recorded, it's like my son is actually here right now. He lives in Austin, and he's here hanging out with us this weekend. We're loving
Cool.
it, and we listened to your albums this morning as we were drinking coffee and hanging out. And he actually majored in percussion, so he's a great drum set player. And we were both just talking about how great the drum sounds are on the albums.
Oh, man.
Sounds so good. Yeah, I mean, it's
Thank
like,
you. Yeah.
they sound great.
That's Mark Rodabaugh on drums on the last two records, and the first one was Brian Lawrence on drums.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love how the drum sounds turned out on our most recent record.
Yeah. Wow. Just so good.
Yeah.
So what was the origin of this group, and what was I love the instrumentation to it, because it feels, I'm going to use the word traditional, but it feels that way, but there's a lot of cool different kind of things coming in and out that you may not normally hear in a group, that I just think it works so well. What was your thinking behind all of that when you put that group together?
I guess it first came together. I wanted to do I think this was in probably 2017. I'd made a kind of a progressive bluegrass record right out of college, and I'd been living in Nashville for a few years, and I really wanted to make a follow-up solo record that was more in line with like my real interests and where my heart was musically, but I didn't really know how to do that. I feel like I'd been building up a career in like the bluegrass world, but my interests were like Bill Frisell music, Brian Blade Fellowship Band.
Oh man,
huge.
what a band. Yeah.
Brad Mehldau and Pat Metheny group, and like Joni Mitchell and the Pat Metheny collaborations. And
Let me pause and say for a moment, my son that I'm talking about that's here, his middle name is Metheny, so I should tell you how much of a fan I am.
Me too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like I was really into like Fish too, still am, and Grateful Dead, and just wanted to explore all these other interests. And I had like a small collection of original tunes that I thought maybe could exist in these worlds, but I didn't know really how to explore that. But so that became the first record, which it was a solo record, but it's titled Forecast. And it came together really organically. Like Royal Massat played on it. It was my new friend group in town, people I was just meeting, and we just explored these. They were like sketches of tunes almost in the studio, and they came together. And then when I did the album release show for that record, that's kind of when the group formed the way it is today. And we played the live show, and it was like it just glued together in this way that I realized like it should be a band. It's more than just this record. So we've made 2 records since then. That's been a bit more of a band focused project.
Yeah.
But a big part of it to me was wanting to blend like jazz with acoustic music and also like rock music and jam band music, and I want it to be kind of a genreless thing.
Yeah. I think genres in general are. I think it can get really silly, like trying to find a bucket to put this whatever kind of music it is into. And yeah, I love that. That project, it just really breaks down all of those walls. It's just great music. It's great writing and great playing, great improvising. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been really fun doing more with. We played a monthly residency for a while at Dee's Lounge in Madison, just where a lot of that. We'd try out a lot of the tunes that ended up on the records and just workshop things and different collaborations. And it's been really fun collaborating with singers and songwriters in town, like being the band with another artist. So yeah, this most recent record we did, which we released in January, it's called Let the World In. I feel like that's the most clear kind of statement of who we became as a group through all the live playing. And the early record was kind of the blueprint and like figuring out who we are. And this one feels like a lot more of a cohesive and kind of statement of what the project is as a whole.
Yeah. Well, and I think that getting to a place as a musician or as a band to have to know who you are. I mean, there are some musicians that I think struggle with that through their entire career, or finding that and then writing and recording music that you would probably want to listen to yourself has to be a beautiful moment for that to happen when it finally all comes together.
Yeah. I love it. I'm excited to do more.
Yeah. So you said you were going to do some shows coming up. Does the entire group go out on those for those shows?
This run's going to be a bit different. A lot of the usual players weren't available, so it's a lot of new players on this run, which I'm excited about. I think I've always wanted this project to be to feel like a collective rather than like one single lineup. So I'm excited to play the same music with some new great musicians and hear it through their lenses. So yeah, it's a lot of new faces on this run, but it's gonna be great. We're playing Swanee Roots Revival and
cool,
Florida, which it's my favorite festival, and I'm really excited to share it with these guys.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I've always heard about that festival, and I've never been able to go, and that'll be great. And I think I think your music will, and that is really going to connect with that audience. I think they're really going to really appreciate what you guys are doing. I also know you do some teaching as well, right? You do workshops,
Yeah.
and do you teach private lessons as well, or?
Yeah, from time to time. I used to a lot more than I have been these days, but yeah, I really do enjoy that.
Yeah.
A
Do you
lot.
think it's do you find it to be a passion, or maybe a responsibility to kind of pass that information on, or do you think maybe it's a little bit of both?
I think it's both. I think that, music, it, getting to share what you've learned is like part of the tradition of music, and it's a beautiful thing to, especially with when you can like have a really real connection with a student who, I don't know. I just think about the way Darol Anger has been with me over the years, and I would love to be able to pass that kind of energy on to younger people too.
Yeah.
Um,
No, that's great. I think, and I spent a lot of time teaching music over the years, and I think that I do feel like there's a certain level of responsibility that we have to honor the people that poured into us over the years and mentored us, that, and I think that I do think that the music that you play and the musicians that you play with and the people that have influenced you they're very collaborative people, and that they are, even if it's from one generation to the other, they are willing to share their knowledge and their wisdom to others, and they're not territorial with it, like a lot of other players may be. I do think that the we'll say the acoustic music space, whether that be bluegrass festivals or whatever, it's such a collaborative environment, maybe more so than anywhere else.
Yeah, it's amazing it's such an easy world to meet your heroes. Like everyone's really accessible. And I really do believe in the responsibility of musicians to teach and pass things on. Not necessarily in like a formal lesson sense. I think a lot of the real learning and passing on of knowledge happens just in casual settings, or just, sitting down and playing one tune with somebody backstage at a festival, or little things like that are almost bigger lessons than anything you could do like over Skype for an hour for money. It's not about that. So I do try to live that way, when I'm around younger musicians and have opportunities to just hang out and share stories or tunes or licks or whatever.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure you're like me in that when I was coming up as a musician, I was so lucky to have musicians that were older than me that just chose to pour into me as a player and just kind of
Hmm.
teach me what it was, teach me songs that I may didn't know, or even just the things of being on the bandstand, and just that collaborative energy that
Hmm.
I can't thank those people enough for being that way with me, and I'm sure it was the same way for you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's great. Yeah, I I don't get to teach as much now as I did since we've moved. I was teaching a lot back then, and I don't get to do it as much, and I do miss that piece of it a lot because there is something so energizing about just sharing that information and just that time with someone that's soaking it up like we probably were when we were their age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. Before we go, I wanted, I was thinking about just the fact of, I feel like we're in such a great time, and it's been happening for a while, but I think about players like you and Molly and Billy Strings, that I love what is happening with musicians honoring the music that came before, but
Mm.
while also pushing it in a new and different direction. And do you feel that as a conscious thing, or do you think that it's just kind of a byproduct of the collaboration that's happening with everyone around you?
It, at least it that's more my experience with what you just said, personally, and I don't know
Yeah.
if that's everybody's, but yeah, I feel like the more you think about it, the more in a box it becomes, and the
Yeah.
more the more you try to push boundaries, the less it's actually gonna push boundaries. I don't know. That's a good question. I think just like I really look for honesty in all the music that I connect to on a spiritual level. Like, all my favorite music that moves me and gives me chills is just because I feel it coming through in an honest way of like, this person is showing who they truly are and what they love to you, and it's not made for any reason other than that. And it's all made by people who would be doing it even if they weren't successful in their career or something. They'd still be like making that music because they have to.
Yeah.
And I think when it's coming from that place, it can't help but like meld all the things that you love and all the different styles you love. And so that really pushes things forward, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And everyone you were speaking of earlier, from Bill Frisell to Pat Metheny and Brad Mehldau. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Just there's so much honesty in the way that they play. And I'm with you. I think even casual music listeners, they can pick up on the honesty
Hmm.
of a player or a singer. And yeah, it's just, I think just being true to yourself and true to what you're doing it's the most crucial part of this, of being a musician.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, it's all about the more you show who you are, that it really encourages empathy in the world and free thought in the world, and like the more you can, and that's what I try to do. That's the goal. But I know that from the music that I love, I received that from all of that music, and yeah, it's hard. It's really difficult to put it into words, honestly.
Yeah. But I know, I know what, I know what you're saying by it, though, in that, and I do sense it in the way you play. You're such a great player, but more than that, I know that I can sense that you believe what you're playing, and there's heart and passion behind the notes that's coming out of the instrument. And so thank you for that.
That means so much. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, John, I've had an amazing time just hanging out with you today.
You too, Brad. Yeah.
This has
Thank
been a
you
lot
for
of fun.
thanks so much for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Love the podcast too. You've had
yeah, thank you.
so many of my heroes on here. So
Well,
very
thank
cool.
you. And I just encourage everyone to go out and to check out John's music. Go to the website, go and seek out everything you're playing on. It's great. I'm just such a fan, and I just wish you all the best. So yeah, thank you, John.
Thank you so much. Hope our paths cross in person one of these days.
Yeah, me too. Take care.
Thank you, Brad.